Today's Sunday, July 21st at 2:30. I thought I'd just sort of talk about some wins and losses in this video. So these figs are just killing it. So many figs on these right here. This is a new variety, Violet de Bordeaux or whatever it's called. I'm excited for that one. These are Chicago Hardy, Brown Turkey, and Olympia. Ground cherries. This one needs a little bit of water, but they're great. Squash, using honeysuckle as a trellis. The squash vine board just got that squash over there. These two are still hanging on. This one's using the elderberry as a trellis. This one I helped over to the honeysuckle. Got a big squash back there. Some growing there. Echinacea for pollination. Massive win. Nothing on this pomegranate yet. Lost like this Musa Baju doesn't get enough fertilizer, I think. Gets enough water. Zoysia in a drought, that's a win. This blackberry, big win. Doing great. This one got enough water. My other blackberries didn't. And so none of them are doing quite as good as this plant. Another fig. This grape finally making it up here. That's a win. This water tank lasted me till like last week, and now it's more or less tapped out. 1,700 gallons. Had a pretty good drought this year until 3 or 4 days ago. Rained pretty good. You can see how dry most of those plants are. I didn't spray any fungicide this year, no clay, which hurt us. But this is our favorite tasting fruit. It's a white peach of some kind. I don't see the tag here, but they're doing great for the most part. Let's see, I guess this is a loss. This is a Nectaplum. That potentially tasted better than this peach, and that peach is just stellar. But the plum curculio just decimated this tree, as well as my other two plums, a pluot and a plum. More or less lost every piece of fruit. Win here is this Szechuan pepper. I used to have a male Szechuan, but it died, and this one clearly seems self-fertile. It's awesome. So many. Let's see what else. This Che fruit is a win and loss. Like, it died back to the ground, but it's coming back strong. Hopefully it'll make it through this winter and get a lot bigger. This jujube got eaten to the ground by deer, but it bounced back. Happy about that. No apricots this year. That was a loss. Last year we got probably 10. This year they all fell off. This goji berry is like the Sahara back here. I've watered it a little bit, but obviously not enough. That thing gave us a few berries. This one gave us a few too, but I mean, it's sort of a joke. This little persimmon, this is the persimmon that could. 2 years ago it gave us 3 fruit. This year it gave us 2, and the deer chomped it. It was probably 3 feet taller, but deer got in there. You think maypop passion flowers are invasive or not? There's some evidence. Ridiculous. I have them growing up this little thing here and that there. Last year I had them on this fence, but it was shading the tomatoes in the afternoon. We've yet to see what this peach is going to do. This is a peach that a cultivated variety that died down to the rootstock, and I let the rootstock grow. So if the peaches stink again this year, which they did last year, we're going to use this to graft a bunch of different varieties onto. Show you some carpenter bees on these passion fruit flowers. Good grief. What was that? It's a wabbit. Where is it? Oh. Wascally wabbit. So, biggest loss of the year probably is this Bartlett pear. Every single pear eaten by squirrels in the last week. Now, it didn't have a ton of pears, but probably 30 pears gone. Here's a win. These are Reliance grapes. First year this vine's fruiting. Not the biggest grapes, but given the drought we're having, and it's the first year, you know, and they taste great, that's great. Another win is these hardy kiwis. It's got a lot on it. Probably 200 if I had to guess, a couple hundred. Another win is this hardy kiwi now being used as a squash trellis. These are cucumbers and squashes using this honeysuckle as a trellis. And then I have it going over to that tree. That's the Shipova pear as well. Just helped it along a little bit. Same thing over here. I'm helping it along over to that side. Basil's doing great. Overall, the peppers and tomatoes are doing great. I've been picking them a little bit early this year. Like tomorrow I'll pick that one even though it's not ripe yet, just to make sure we get a harvest. They ripen indoors just as well once they're about 50% ripe. So tomatoes this year are doing great. I've been watering them by hand. What else? Earlier this year I videoed saying that all my grafts had failed on this persimmon, but actually all except one have succeeded. So you can see this is a graft there. Back there is another one. This one, although terrible, is still going. That one worked back there. Here's some actual persimmons on this tree. These are American persimmons. There's more up here. So that's super exciting that the grafts worked. Old bird's nest there. That was a cardinal nest. The squash growing through the cherry tree. It's a wild native blackberry. Still has a couple fruit on it. This is our tayberry. It's not in the best location given this mulberry that I got coming in here. Starting to shade this part of the garden, which was by design. I just put this tayberry in the wrong spot. These are marionberries, just tremendous fruit. And I'm running them up these stakes this year. I'll prune these back to here soon, or later in the year. And back here we even have some of our vegetables, some eggplant, some peppers there, tiny little things. Another pepper plant, another pepper. Some garlic chives coming in. These are looking nice. Here's the old pawpaw tree. Yes. Big win. 17 pawpaws on this puppy. This is not a big tree, but this tree likes giving me pawpaws apparently. Look at, someone's eating our stuff. Nasty. Squirrels are terrible this year. My winter project is going to be putting in a water feature of some kind, because I think they're just thirsty. And those Bartlett pears are good water if you're a squirrel. So this is like the hottest area of the garden. It's doing the worst, and these are the last tomatoes that I put in. So they don't look great, that's for sure. Not in this section. But it's full of life. I just recently, within the last week, thinned out those raspberries for next year, or for the fall. What do we got in here? It's a little watermelon. Oh, there it is. It's tiny. Got some nice grapes here. Japanese beetles slaughtered these leaves, but they didn't really, well, they hurt some other plants, but don't seem to be too big of a deal. Not on this plant. Still got tons of nice grapes. This is my succession planting of squash and cucumber. Got cucumber beetles. Rats. Already. Anyway, hopefully, I never successfully really succession planted, so this is a step in the right direction. Awesome pollinators, like I said earlier. I have peppers and tomatoes planted down there. In the back, there's another ground cherry in that pot back there. The grape, next year's grapevine will be this one. I'll wrap around the rope down there. And then I got a lot of my tomatoes going up into the trees like this. Some kale over here, looking good still. Had some cabbage worms, but we haven't lost any full plants just yet. There's little peppers on there, cherry peppers. Got some bell peppers growing here. Purslane. Got some cilantro seedlings that should sprout soon there. This is how I've been watering. So I use my rain tank to fill this tank, and then I use these 2 watering cans to dip in there. And then before I fill it, I get a bucket full of compost from my compost bin and mix it in here. I could certainly age it better and make a better compost tea, but at the very least I'm creating compost water as I water the plants, and that seemed to work well. This little, I call it my pricker bed, but I prick out from this bed. I hadn't done it till this year, but I did a bunch of herbs and moved them to other areas. There's still some stuff here. This is a volunteer tomato. My phone overheated for the second time. This is shot the next day. And here's my final loss. So, just overnight, a vole came through and ate the stem of my squash plant. Just gnawed it off. And that's it.